Good afternoon, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Facebook Live. So I'm Holly with Handcrafted Blessings, and it is going to be so fun this afternoon. I have a fun new design to show you today, and let me make sure that's off. And I'm going to show you, like, I don't remember how many, 6, I think. 6 different versions of this card, so that'll be fun. Sometimes when you get started on something, you just can't quit, right? So I was making this card and I just kept finding different dies to use with it, so I just kept making more and more of them. And so now here we are. Okay, give me just a second here. Trying to get this set up here. It just doesn't want to stay today. We'll see how long before that iPad falls down on me. All right, welcome you guys to Facebook Live. So I've got a couple of cards to show you today, and tomorrow I will do a video opening a bunch of birthday cards. So these, if you've sent those, you're gonna get shown on Facebook Live, and I'll do that tomorrow. So, but for today, I do have a couple of cards. One is from Deborah Ludwig in Minnesota. And it says, thank you. I like that. It's just as simple as cutting off, let me move her note here, but you can see here, it's just as simple as cutting off, maybe an inch from the front flap, and you can have this beautiful card with showing the designer series paper on the inside. Okay, and the other card is from Terry Green in Colorado. And it says, thank you. Oops. And something just fell out the inside. And you can see there, she has taped down her designer series paper and then run it through an embossing folder all together. So it says thank you with her note on the inside. Oh, and look, it's a little bookmark. So it looks like it's meant to kind of go over. So like if this was your book, it would go over the corner like that. What a clever idea. That's cool. Well, thank you ladies for those cards. And I can't wait to show you guys the other ones that are sitting here. I haven't looked through them all. I'm just glancing and, kind of sorting through them, but it'll be fun to do that. So, all right, like I said, I have a card. This was actually requested by one of my customers here in Iowa. She asked me if I could teach her how to do this card, and I thought, well, let's just do it on Facebook Live. So it took me a minute to figure out how to make it because I hadn't done this in a while, but I thought it'd be fun to do. It's kind of triple layers, if you will. So I'm going to put my camera down here. And I'm going to show you how to make this card with 5 different sets of dies. So this is the first card. This is my sample card. And then on the inside. So I'm going to show you how to make this with a whole bunch of different dies. Because really any dies that nest inside of each other could work for this card. So we are going to use Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, and this piece this piece of Mediterranean blooms. I'm going to be using the blue side on the back. Okay, so I'm going to first cut a card base. So we're just going to cut this here at 5.5. And then I'm going to turn it and score it at 4 1/4. And then we'll take our Night of Navy piece, and I'm going to cut this to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to do 2 of them. So 4 by 5 1/4. Jan, the Card Club tutorials go out today, and the Facebook Live will be on, I think it's Thursday, but check the email today, and it'll have the date and time. So I just realized I was doing this off camera. I was just cleaning up the edges of my card. They got a little fluffy with my cutting. All right, so we got 2 of those at 4 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to take our designer series paper, and I'm going to do 3 3/4 by 5. Okay. All right. So what I want to do, well, and then I should say here, because I already have this kind of stash of basic white, I do have a piece of basic white here that's 3 3/4 by 5 as well. But we're going to start with our die cutting. So in order to make your die cuts, you just need any die, any nested dies. So dies that fit inside of each other like this. And you need it to be a set of dies that has at least 4, so that you have, excuse me, so that you've got 4 different dies that you can work with. So I made cards using all 5 sets of these, which I'll show you in a few minutes, but I'm going to use this one right here. So I'm going to take, well, before I take them off, let me talk to you about how you're going to do your dies. So if we start from the biggest to the smallest, and we think about numbering them, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 3 are going to go on your cardstock. 2 and 4 are going to go on your designer series paper. So that means the biggest one goes here, and then the second from the smallest is going to go here. And then the other 2 will go on my designer series paper. And that's true no matter what shape you decide to do. You can use, you know, like deckled circles, the deckled rectangles, stitched rectangles. I mean, any die will do. They can be as big as your piece of paper, or they can be smaller, like the ones you see me using right here. I'm gonna grab my machine here. And let me grab some plates. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our designer series paper here. Now, I like to start with my designer series paper so that I can decide which way I want to use my dies. So I actually think I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to do it this way because I kind of like how that frames it. Okay, so then we're going to put our cardstock on here. And, except that I need to make these centered. Let's try centering that a little better. Okay, so now I've got my cardstock here. And I'm going to center these 2. Move this over a little bit. So I'm just centering these at the same level here. And they don't have to be exact because of how this layout works. It's very forgiving. Okay, so I've got all my dies laid out. So I'm just going to put this on here. And I just like to go straight down with my top plate. I find that generally my dies don't move. If you're worried about your dies moving, feel free to put, you know, a Post-it note or, you know, some adhesive tape or something like that to hold your dies in place. Okay, I'm going to take this off. Actually, I'm just going to close up the sides so it's easier to set down here next to me. All right. So we've got some cutouts now. So we've got our designer series paper, and we've got 2 frames. And then we've got our cardstock and a couple of frames. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my magnet sheet right here and put these back so that they don't get lost in the chaos. And so these are called the Nested Essentials dies. That's what this set is called. Okay, so I'm going to take my card front. Let me move these all over. We're going to take our card front and we're going to begin layering, not all of them. We're going to pause for a second, but I'm going to begin layering a couple of them on my card front. Now I've got some fuzzy pieces here because I need to sharpen my trimmer blade. When they get a little fuzzy like this, I like to take a piece of foil and run my blade over it. It seems to kind of extend the life of my blade a little bit. All right, so we're gonna put that there. It kind of looks like a television. And then we're gonna take our designer series paper. And we're gonna add that right on top. And because these cutouts get progressively smaller, even if your alignment is a little bit off, you're not going to notice by the time you're done putting your card back together. So now, at this point, you have to make a decision on how you might decide to finish your card. So we are going to be doing the rest of these layers on top of each other, but I'm pausing here for a second because I think I want to add some ribbon here before I add another layer. So I am going to take, this is the white woven ribbon, and we're going to put some tape there on the inside of my rectangle. And I'm just going to go back and forth here on the front of the card, just like that. Then I'll take my scissors and trim off the extra. Okay. So now what I think I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to dimensionalize all of this together. So what that means is I'm going to start here with the smallest piece, and I'm going to put that on the next piece in order. And then I'm going to take this here. We'll stick a little tape on the ends here. Okay, now I'm going to try to line up, let's see here. So I'm looking to complete my design, to keep my design in order. It's kind of fun to make it look like you somehow just inserted some navy cardstock in the middle of the design. It's kind of a fun trick on the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna put tape all the way around the edges, and then I can stick that here. I'm not gonna stick it down too hard just because I don't want it to stick to my desk. So we'll turn that over and we will grab our dimensionals, and this is where the edges really come in handy because I can just cut some longer pieces here. Just like that. And then do the same thing on this edge. We're just gonna dimensionalize all over the place. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a few in the middle just because I want to keep my die cut balanced. I don't want it to dip at all because of this stickiness and just the way die cuts like to dip sometimes if you don't have them well balanced with your dimensionals. So it's very well dimensionalized. So I'll take all these backings off. And there we go. Now once again, I gotta find my design here. I think it might be this way. There we go. So get that lined up. I'll put that down. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my other couple of layers here. And I'm gonna start with some stamping. I've just got some random die tags, die cuts sitting here. So I'm just gonna use one of those. And I'm gonna use some Night of Navy ink and a stamp that says, "In case you need me, I'm here." And then we'll use with Sympathy for the front tag. There we go. And then we can take our layers here. We'll start with the inside. Let me move these scissors out of the way. So I'm gonna put my basic white on top of my Night of Navy. And then I can take all of that, because I really, on all of these cards, I wanted to tie in the color combination from the outside to the inside. So you'll see most of these will have an extra layer on the inside, just to kind of really make that flow with our color combination. All right, and then I'll take this one, and because I've already got dimensionals and ribbon, I'm just gonna flat tape this so that we don't end up with too puffy of a card. And then I'll finish off with some opal round assortments, and I'm gonna use the smaller size, just like that. And so it gives you the illusion of 3 layers of cardstock and then 3 layers of designer series paper. And like I said, you can do this with any nested die cuts. So any die cuts where you have 4 sizes that kind of fit inside of each other like this. So if let me move this out of the way. Bring back my sample card. I've used the same dies, so it's this set right here, and to cut the airplanes out right there. So I've got Happy Birthday, and then I've got my colors tied into the inside again. And then, oh, where'd they go? Oh, here we go. So same dies as the airplanes, but I turned it the other direction. So I used some of the birthday celebrations, the wildflower birthday paper, and added a little bit, you might be able to see here some of the gold ribbon back here behind the die cuts. And then Time to Celebrate. You can use the squares on the same wildflower paper right there. You could use the flags, the banners, and you could layer them together. And you've got with Sympathy, and then it says, "I'm here. In case you need me, I'm here." And this one, I happen to have a base that was already cut at 4 1/4 by 11, so I did a long base for this card. What else do we got here? And then I used the circles. So I've got a nice plain and simple birthday card, and then I used the same circles and that Mediterranean, a different pattern of this Mediterranean blooms paper, to make another Sympathy card. So I don't know if you've got a favorite, but this is such a fun way to layer your designs. You can kind of see how I continued the pattern. So I didn't break up the pattern in each of the cards. It keeps going so that the cakes are connected here, so it just flows as one continuous card. But it's all the same exact layout. It's just switching up of the dies that you might use in the middle. So I'd love to see your version of this card. I'll post it over in the community group, and then you can share your version of this one with whatever dies that you choose to complete your cards with. So thanks so much for tuning in to Coffee and a Card today. And don't forget to encourage one another and build each other up. I'll see you soon.